What's up, YouTube? Corey here. This is going to be episode 1 of a brand new channel I'm going to try my hand at. I'm not a professional YouTuber by any means, but I am a huge car guy and huge car nut. I've been in the automotive industry off and on since roughly high school, so 2004, 2005. Worked at several dealerships, independent shops, one Jeep company in Atlanta working on custom Jeeps, and flash forward to 2018. I now live in Northeast Indiana, originally born and raised in GA, but I now live in Northeast Indiana with my wife and 5-month-old son. And so basically this channel is going to be about my journey with my 86 Mazda RX-7. I bought it as a rolling, complete, non-running but rolling car for about $1,000 in a 13B 5-speed GXL trim level that supposedly needed a fuel pump. Turns out, as any RX-7 enthusiast knows, if one has been sitting for a while in a barn for 10 years in Indianapolis, it's probably not going to just need a fuel pump. So quick little flash forward. Picked up the car, started diving in, had plans to do a full, well, not a full, but a full rebuild, half Bridgeport, basically have the RX-7 I had 10 years ago. It turns out, just through some life events, now married with a baby and a house, and the only income provider, the budget for a project like that is not what it used to be. So basically this channel is going to be all about the extreme budget-minded weekend dad worker, hardly any time for the car, but try to do as much as I can throughout the week and on the weekends to hopefully build my budget-minded, era correct / best I can do with what I've got kind of build. So 86 Mazda RX-7. It was a 5-speed car, still is. Open diff, one tire fire. Anyways, I'll get to that. So I'm a purist at heart. I love the rotary engine, love everything about it, think it's awesome. However, if you want to build something fun and reliable and cheap, it's kind of like you can only pick 2 of those. So I went with reliable and cheaper, and I'm sure I'll still have some fun with it. So I get ready, internet. We're going to be doing our typical flamer LS type build. Let me get a little bit more light here in my garage. It's like 20 degrees in here, so not super duper bright. So here's the car. It's a 86, so it's a Series 4, but I've always liked the look of the Series 5, so I do have the Series 5 front bumper, which was an eBay special / forum special. I am not going to purchase the $300 Series 5 taillights because in the performance world, they're just tail lights. So that's not going to do anything. I need some light. I apologize. Oh, another fun thing about this build is it's literally going to be from this Walmart track phone smartphone. So this is going to be just like the best you can do with what you got. This is all this is going to be about. So here's our engine. This is a LM4 out of a 2004 Buick Rainier. So it's a 5.3 all aluminum LS base engine. It's kind of a weird in between a Gen 3 and a Gen 4. So it does still have the 26X reluctor wheel, I believe it's called. And it has a few little different things as far as the on the top there. There's the knock sensors are actually down here on the bottom. I don't know if you can see that, but get my Harbor Freight work light for our backlight. So our knock sensor is down here on the bottom, But one thing through my research I've learned, we have these lovely $7.99 heads, which according to my research, is basically the updated 243 heads. So better flow, of course they're aluminum, so lightweight. So that's my engine. Another little tidbit through some research I've done is that you can use, even though everyone online flames you like nothing, I've got a T5 World Class from a 99 Camaro V6, which a lot of people say, oh, as soon as you put power to it, it's going to blow up and blah, blah, blah. Well, again, I can't afford a $2,000 or $2,500 T56 like I would like to have, but a $250 T5 on Craigslist is a lot more doable. Now, the fun little catch with that is, of course, the V6 bell housing is not going to bolt up to a LS style engine, so you have to go with this big block Chevy style bell housing, which the manufacturing number is right there. Some refer to it as the 621, but basically it's the big block Chevy 350, 454, whatever Munsey pattern bell housing. Now, one little thing I missed doing my research is the World Class T5 that bolts up to that is actually from the, I guess, 3rd gen F-body Camaro and Firebird. So there is a company that makes an adapter plate that will go in between the two. But here's the transmission. Good shape, hardly any abuse probably at all. Almost no shaft play. And one of the reasons I went with the T5 instead of, I was actually looking at some older Muncie 4-speeds and things like that, is the clutch options. So the T5 and the T56 have the same 26 spline input shaft as the T5 has the same 26 spline input shaft as a T56. Therefore, and henceforth, you can use pretty much any LS1 style clutch and flywheel combo. You do have to get I believe it's the LS7 style pilot bearing. But it's still a hydraulic clutch, so I will have to get to some adapting to make the factory Mazda master cylinder and slave cylinder, or at least the hoses, to work with the throwout bearing style on the T5. But that's the progress so far. I've done a few little things. Oh yeah, there you go. I could just make that my little thing. I had that at a dealership I worked at. That was kind of cool. Little recognition. I lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh yes. So as far as mods and plans, like I said, extremely low budget, trying to do the best I can with what I've got. I am not one of those internet part geeks, so everything has to be name brand. Like, I know a lot of people bash on eBay parts and say that, it's not a true build if you're using cheap stuff. Well, in my experience, the eBay stuff has come a long, long way. And this is not going to be a super high performance competitive car. I mean, this is literally going to be something fun to drive on the weekends, occasional track days, nothing too crazy. Eventually the plan for, like, say, the rear end will be a Ronin Speedworks Ford IRS swap using the Explorer differential, but that's basically like a $1,200 kit, $1,000 kit, something like that. So eventually I'm going to shoot for that, but for now, good old drift style, welded open diff, or it was open, now it's welded. So we'll see how that works for a while. Again, I wanted to go with either the Ronin Speedworks or even the CX Racing swap kit, but the swap kit I want is about $900. And I don't have that kind of money. So I work at a Coca-Cola plant in Fort Wayne, Indiana as a fleet mechanic. So I work on the big trucks and forklifts and any and everything in between. Anything that rolls or works, that's what I work on. So I do have access to a good bit of scrap metal after things are repaired. So my motor mounts are being made from, well, I did get a $50 engine mount kit from eBay for a universal LS swap, like for a Jeep type setup, which I'll show you those if you can see them. So these were about 50 bucks on eBay. So far they line up just perfect, and they give me a good foundation for what I plan to build for my engine mounts there. And then I got some 1/4-inch thick plate that cut out of an old safe that was in a Coke delivery truck that was, most of it was rusted up from the bottom. So we chucked that and we cut the sides out of it, or a couple of pieces of the sides. So that's going to be part of my base plates for the mount and for the what bolts to the cross member. And so I'll try to make those nice. I found an article online where someone used basically 1/4-inch steel, did some measurements, made their own mounts, and it looks pretty simple, and they actually had their measurements and stuff, so I'm going to copy off that, and I'll add a link in the description below if anyone else wants to try the same. But you know, again, not a super duper high roller like some people are sometimes. I'm very thankful for my job and for what I do make, and I'm trying to do the best with what I've got. Most of the time I have to sell something I'm not using to purchase something I need for the car. So there's been a lot of parts slinging here lately, but now we're kind of on a dry spell. So now I have to find some side work or do something else. Just keep priorities in line. So that's a quick little rundown. I know it's choppy. I know the light's terrible, but this is literal me working on my car, doing the best I can do. I'll try to do some more updates. I'll try to do it whenever I work on the car, so probably weekly to start, and we'll see how that goes. And then if I get little breaks here and there, I know my wife and son are out of town today and won't be back till later tomorrow, so I'll probably make another video tomorrow, just a quick little update rundown on what I'll be doing, and then we'll go from there. But looking forward to this build. I've been gathering parts for a while. I've done little things. The sound deadening removal is very tedious when you don't have access to dry ice. So a hammer and a chisel and lots of hours. And so, but finally the sound deadening is done. It does have a manual steering rack. I actually opted for that for simplicity of the swap. So don't have to worry about making any custom power steering lines or things like that. Just forget it. It's a lightweight car. I'm probably not going to run anything bigger than 16 or 17-inch wheels. I have a certain wheel and tire combo in mind, but we'll see. I might change my mind. But yeah, no AC, no power steering. We'll still have power brakes. Thankfully, this chassis comes with a great brake setup from the factory. So 4-piston fronts, single piston rears, but big rotors. And it's a very, very good chassis. I mostly come from a 240SX background, and I love them, and a Mustang background. Like, as you can see, I'm a big Ford guy, but just the cost and pricing it out and hopefully ease of this project is what led me towards the RX-7 build. So we'll see how it goes. Trying to do a lot with a little. So you guys wish me luck on this journey. You have any questions, you can write it in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. Again, I'm a 50-hour-a-week, Monday through Friday worker, 5-month-old son, so pretty much whatever time I'm home that he's awake, that's what I'm doing. And otherwise I'm at work, and sometimes I get a few hours on the weekends to work on this thing. So the goal, the plan, hopefully, is to at least have it running, maybe driving on its own power by next summer, but we'll see. Otherwise, this will probably be a stretched out project. Sorry. But thanks for the time. Sorry to be rambling this whole time, but look forward to this project and you guys following along with me.